Hi everybody, it's Steve again, and I'm going to do another little mini lesson on Okie from Muskogee using just two chords and one finger, and another way to sort of, oops, sorry, must be my nap time, another way to sort of figure out when to change chords rather than by counting the beats. So just to review, it just uses these two chords. Now this is on a baritone ukulele. On a tenor or a soprano or lead, whatever, ukulele, the same fingers could be used, but they would be called different chords. So I always encourage people to start with a baritone ukulele because the four strings of the baritone ukulele correspond exactly to the top four strings of the guitar. So if you know how to play a baritone uke, you're already like, 2/3 of the way towards being able to play a guitar. So again, to review, on the ukulele or guitar, this thing at the end, the white big thing, is called the nut. And then each of these smaller crossbars is called a fret. So it's a fretted instrument, unlike a violin or a cello, they don't have frets. Banjos do, bass guitars do. Bass fiddles don't. So anyway, there are, I don't know, 15 or 20 frets on this uke, and we're only going to associate ourselves with one of them. So when we say put a finger in the first fret, we don't mean right on top of the fret itself. We mean between the fret and the nut. So for example, right here, this one finger for the C chord is my first finger, and it's in the first fret on the second string. So I know it's hard to see because my other finger's there. That's right there. That's how you do that finger for the C chord. Now the other one, I'm not even going to play. I told you can do this with just one finger, and I meant it. So what we do on the C chord is we just strum these three strings. The lower three strings physically, the three higher ones, this string down here actually sounds lowest. So we're just not going to strum that D string. We're just going to strum the upper three strings with our finger on the second string in the first fret, and we get a nice chord. I played the D, that's why it sounds terrible. Okay, the G7 chord also uses the same finger in the same fret, just on the higher string, the first string. So when you're switching from C to G7, here's the C, and all you have to do is move your finger one string over, and you've got a G7, okay? So I'm going to do the song for you just real quick, and then I'll show you some more about when to change. We don't smoke marijuana in Muskogee. We don't take no trips on LSD. We don't burn no draft cars down on Main Street. We like living right and being free. Now, in the first video I made about this, I talked about how you count the beats, and that's when you'll know how to change. And I said, okay, so you do the C for 12 beats, and then you do the G7 for 16 beats, and then you go back to the C for 4 beats. Well, that works for some people, but some people really, wow, have trouble keeping track of the beats. So now I'm going to show you how to just not keep track of the beats, just go by the lyrics, by the words, the text. All right, so here's just the first verse. And you notice, so now ignore the 12 beats and 16 beats and 4 beats. Just go by the words, okay? You start on C, and you keep playing C until you get, we don't smoke marijuana in Muskogee. We don't take no trips on LSD. When you say that letter D, that's when you change to G7. Then you stay on G7. We don't burn no draft cars down on Main Street. We like living right and being free. And it's on the word free that you change back to the C. Now, as I said in the other one, oh boy, wait, what's the coffee? I'm getting older. Maybe I need a nap. What beginners will often need to do, want to do, is first of all slow the tempo down, and then secondly, stop a few words before you get to the chord change. So maybe stop on like take or trips. So you have a moment or two to switch to the G7 by the time you get to LSD. And then you can keep singing. And when you know free is coming up, maybe stop right on, right or something like that. And then you'll have a couple of moments, a couple of beats to get to the C chord, okay? So here's how that works. We don't smoke marijuana in Muskogee. We don't take no trips on LSD. We don't burn no draft cars down on Main Street. We like living right and being free. So now I'm going to do it real slow-mo in case you want to try to keep up with me if you're new at this. And of course, you can always slow a YouTube down. You slow it down to 75% or 50% or whatever if you want to keep up. Oh, I'm going to show you one more thing that I showed in the other video too. So in this song, because it's only using these two very simple one-finger chords, it's pretty easy to switch, but still, if you're a brand new beginner, it'll still give you a little bit of a trouble. So I would recommend just doing a little drill like that, where you just switch, get good at switching between the C and the G7. You notice my thumb is around the back. It's a lot harder if you have your thumb on top of the neck. So my thumb is around the back, and that helps me push. I'm actually pushing with my thumb on the back and my index finger on the front, and it's kind of just a squeezing thing there. So again, here we go. Switch from C to G7 and back. Okay, now I'll go slow. We don't smoke marijuana in Muskogee. That's my granddad's hat. We don't take no trips on LSD. We don't burn no draft cards down on Main Street. Boy, the grammar in this is terrible. We like living right and being free. And all the other verses have the same number of beats. The chorus has the same number of beats. It's exactly the same pattern over and over and over. So the chorus is proud to be an Okie from Muskogee, a place where even squares can have a ball, and so on. The second verse, we don't make a party out of lovin'. Third verse, leather boots are still in style for man. Leather boots are still in style for manly footwear, and so on. So it's a very easy song once you learn that one pattern, because that's the only pattern that you need. All righty. I hope you enjoy that, and I hope you get some good out of it, and good luck to you.